Good morning and welcome to Wake Up Wednesday. I am Jenna Ross and I am with Spiritually Savage, Mindset Strategy Coaching. Today I'm trying to be super upbeat, but I'm super happy because I found my hoops and they were lost while I was doing my cross-country trip. I stuck them in a bag somewhere, they got scooped up, and I didn't have them on the way back, and I felt weird, naked, and not like myself. Um, because when I started my processing journey, one of the things that I wanted to do was get back to the person that I loved, that I was. I had to go back and find a time when I just loved the person that I was. And that included my hoops and dancing in the morning and singing and listening to music and wearing my Converse and those types of things. And so that's what I did. I really put into action putting on the uniform of being who I wanted to be. It's kind of like dressing for the job that you want before you get the job. When you're processing, you start to look back and really take inventory of who you were, who you have been, who you are now, and who you want to be in the future. And we have to merge those things at some point. You cannot say, fuck that person in the past, I never want to be that person again. Because that person in the past got you to where you are in the present and is going to help get you to where you are in the future. Because the lessons that we learn every single day are what makes us a culmination of what we are and who we are. We can't be our future self without acknowledging our past self and saying to that past self, I'm so sorry that you went through that, or Jesus, you shouldn't have made those decisions. But understanding that that guilt and that shame and that abuse that we're giving that self is not productive. We need to understand and honor the self that we used to be in the past, or the self that we are here in the present that we want to get rid of. And say that self was doing the best that they could with the tools that they had. I've made mistakes in the past. I've made mistakes in the present. I will make mistakes in the future. And I will understand that I made those mistakes based on the information that I had and the coping skills that I had available to me. It does not do us any good to abuse ourselves over mistakes that we have made and things that we cannot change. We will never, ever, ever be able to go back and change things and make our life satisfactory, because no matter what you choose in your life, you're always going to be able to look back and see something that you would have done differently had you had all the pieces to look at. I had a conversation yesterday with a good friend who's a therapist, and it was an amazing conversation. So if she's listening to this, I want to thank her for that. And it was good, and it was healing, and it was encouraging, and it was nice to just be heard. And I want to make you understand that hearing your past self, understanding what you went through, and really listening to who you were then, and the hurts that you were going through, and the hurts that you're going through now, is very important. It's a very important part of healing. More importantly than other people hearing us, more importantly than other people understanding us, you have to be willing to hear you. You have to be willing to understand you. You have to be willing to accept you, because it doesn't matter who loves you. It doesn't matter who accepts you. It doesn't matter who understands you. It doesn't matter who encourages you, who lifts you up, who does for you, who's there for you. It does not matter. Because if you aren't there for you for those things, if you can't do those things for you, if you can't accept that from you, you can't accept it from anybody else. Which is why so many people feel so alone, surrounded by so many people, because they are not there for themselves. I don't feel lonely. I haven't felt lonely in a really long time. And I sympathize with my clients who say that they feel lonely when they don't have a partner, or they feel lonely with a partner. And the thing about not feeling lonely is this: when you are lonely, you are not missing something on the outside. You're always missing something on the inside. You're missing you. You're missing the relationship with you. When I had this conversation yesterday, we talked a little bit about processing. And I talked about my process, and we talked about how quickly this process has gone for me because I was accepting of the process. But there comes a point, and we talked last week about distractions, and there comes a point where the process, even though it's healthy, can also become a distraction because we want everything to be healed now. It took me 20 years to build this trauma and to bury it. But I want it healed now. I want it done this week. I want to dig it all up, and I want the healing to happen right now. And I want to be fully healed and fully restored. And I want the future that I want right now because I'm doing this work and I'm doing this healing. And that's not the way it works. We, like anything else, have to train. When you're training for something, you train a little while, but you have to let your body rest to heal. And then you train a little bit more, and you have to let your body rest because the processing takes time. If I dig something up and I go, yeah, I remember that, and I throw it behind me and I keep digging, nothing is truly healed. I've just got a bunch of bones behind me that I'm just covering up with the dirt I'm digging. Don't let the process be your distraction. Understand that you have to dig a little. Then you have to look at all that. You have to sit in it. You have to sit in the dirt and look at it and dig through and say, this is something that is mine. This is something that is not mine. This is a lie. This is a story I'm revamping. This is something I need to take responsibility for. And this is something that I need to release responsibility for. This is something that I need to accept. This is something that I need to release. And then we heal a little bit. And as we heal each layer, then we have time for more. But we can't just keep processing and keep processing because that's not healing. There's no healing in it. And that's what the process is about. If you were just so bound and determined to make yourself all new and forget about that old person, you're not healing. You're burying that old person. And ultimately that person will come back. I hear people say all the time, "Oop, that was the old me. It was the old me coming out. Excuse me, sorry about that." There were a lot of people who loved that old you. At one point, you loved that old you. We can look back now with hindsight and say we didn't make the best choices. But I can always look back in hindsight and say that I loved certain things about that girl. I loved that she was cool rocking her hoops and her chucks, and that she didn't give a crap about the trends. I loved that she went to college and didn't give a crap about the popular guys. She wasn't interested in anything that anybody had to say that was less than what she felt like she deserved. I love that she wore her heart on her sleeve and that she was hurt by some of the things people said about her. I love that she was that sensitive back then, because sometimes now I don't give a shit. But those times taught me to be like that. Those times prepared me to say, you know what? No matter what you do, true or not true, no matter what people say about you, true or not true, people are always going to talk. It's none of my business what people think about me. Their opinion of me is none of my business. That's why it doesn't matter to me, because I don't take it into account, because it's none of my business. We get to the places in our lives because of the way we used to be. Success is not about never failing. Failure is a part of success. And if you do not fail, you will never be successful. If you are not okay failing, then you will never find success. You will never find success in your life. And I don't even mean money. I mean contentment, joy, a successful marriage, a successful, parent relationship, even being a parent. Success and contentment and joy is all about moving forward. There is no failure in moving forward. There is no failure in anything except just sitting in it. And just so you know, you can not try because you're afraid to fail, but by not trying, you're failing constantly. There is no success. You never move forward. You're just constantly failing. So your fear of failure is keeping you in failure constantly. We attract the energy that we put out. You can do this processing thing. You do not need to know exactly how to do it. You do not need to know the right steps. You just need to recognize that something is wrong. Something is uncomfortable, or that you have gotten comfortable in a situation that should not be comfortable, in a situation that is sucking your soul and keeping you down. And you need to move. Make a movement. It does not matter if it's the wrong one, because movement is movement, and movement creates more movement. An object in motion will continue in motion. An object at rest will continue at rest. So you need to move. It doesn't matter if you don't have a map. It doesn't matter if you don't know the direction. It does not matter if you don't know where you want to go or what you want to change. Change one thing. If you get up at 6 every morning and drink coffee, get up at 5:30 every morning and journal, and then drink your coffee. If you drink coffee every morning by yourself, get your ass up and go have coffee with your friend. Do one thing different, because that one thing will lead you to another thing that you can do different. Get out of your comfort. Get out of what you know. If you've always wanted to move, move. Pack your shit up and go. But do something. Don't be afraid of it. I truly, truly want you to have the most amazing life ever. I want you to stop sleepwalking through your shit. I want you to wake up and go and be the most amazing version of you. The version of you that you were always meant to be, that you were always terrified to be. Stop fighting you and go be that person. I want you to run out right now and answer your question marks. Make everything in your life an exclamation point. And I want you to have the most amazing day, the most amazing week, the most amazing month, the most amazing year, and your most amazing life. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you next week.